Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hood, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host of Hood, and welcome back to the Baseball Hood 2, and this is another episode of the insane asylum known as WFAN. Now, these are the videos we chronicle the insanity of WFAN and how they just completely try to destroy the Mets every single day, even the Met fans that are there at this legendary radio station that created sports talk. And their mantra is, like I've said many times, whatever the Mets do is wrong, and when they do it right, it's still wrong. Well, it's funny I should mention this, but before we get into this video, hit that subscribe button so you know what's going on. Now let's start off, in the blue corner, in the bald corner, that's a better way to say it. Got a lot of bald guys at that radio station, I'll tell you. From Spaz Licata to Tiki Barber to, of course, the coconut head himself, Brandon Tierney. Now, Brandon is a Yankee scum. He's a Yankee fan. I will say this about him, and we'll get into these Met fans at the second part of this video. At least the Yankee fans that work at the radio station, at least they show that they support the team. They love the team. Him and the show known as Keith McPherson, they went to the ball game on Friday, and they looked like they had a good time. Do any of the Met fans that work at the radio station show that they love the ball club other than Evan Roberts and Spaz Licata? Couldn't tell you. They never show themselves wearing Mets jerseys. When you see Norman Esiason, he's always wearing his Rangers jersey. Does he own a Mets jersey? Does he own a Mets hat? I ever see Boom with a hat on? He never wears a hat. I just doesn't want his wig coming off. Is that a wig? And you never see anything worn by that nutjob Greg Giannotti. No. Well, here's from Odyssey.com. This is what's great. I don't have to watch. I just read these articles that their radio station and their podcast network puts out. I don't watch anything. It's all here for me to read it to you. And I leave it for you folks to be the judge of this insanity. Here's from Odyssey. BT would pass on Anthony Volpe becoming Mets version of Francisco Lindor. Not interested. Now, Francisco Lindor, I would mention a couple of things. He's been in the major leagues for quite a few years. Since 2016? 2015? He's only 30 years old. He's still a very young guy. He's going to play another 4 or 5 years at a high level. And he is a guy that has been an all-star. He's won Gold Gloves. He's won a Platinum Glove. He's been a very good offensive player, both with the Indians, and they were the Indians then, and with the New York Mets. And, he was the fourth 30-30 man last year. To do that feat, that's a very difficult feat. You don't see too many players do that. So he's got a lot of hardware. He's got a lot to be proud of. But according to Brandon Tierney, who, based off of this year, based off of 10 games of the New York Yankees season, he'd rather have Anthony Volpe. I can see why his hair fell out by this kind of brain-dead stupidity. He is still a prospect, in my view. Now, it was funny. The American League gave him the Gold Glove last year, but before he was even nominated for a Gold Glove, a lot of the Yankee supporters wanted him to play second. And now it's all quieted down. He's not really, and he did not play well at the shortstop. But he won a Gold Glove. How do you do that? Anyway, Anthony Volpe is currently tied atop the American League in Fangraphs WAR, as his blazing start has helped the Yankees to win 8 of their first 10 games of the season. The young shortstop has shown why the Yankees held back on signing big-name free agents shortstops in recent years. In BT, the Coconut says his ceiling is cause for major excitement. Quote, "It's 2 weeks into year 2. Now, he had an on-base percentage on 300 last year. I think he hit 236. His numbers last year were horrendous. The only number that was good was the stolen bases. There's going to be a retreat to the mean because baseball is hard, but he's completely different," the Coconut said. "Those sliders on the black, he's not even thinking about swinging at. Those fastballs up in the zone. This is so poetic, isn't it? He's barreling them to right field. Volpe looks like a star after 10 games. And you know what Judge and Soto are? I'm loving it. I'm excited." Taking it, I would mention if they don't pitch, they won't win. Taking it a step further, BT, the coconut, says he would sign up for Volpe, evolving into a shortstop like Francisco Lindor is across town with the Mets, as he believes Volpe could become more consistent and more clutch. If Spaz asked me about the Guardians version of Lindor for Volpe, sign me up. Oh, yeah. You know, he doesn't say Indians. He didn't play for the Guardians, Spaz. So there is no such thing as a Guardians version of Lindor. They used to be the Indians when he played for them. There's nothing wrong with saying Indians. The only people that get offended by that kind of word is you. Nobody else gets offended. And the people that forced the Indians to change their name. I would mention about the sort of a offbeat track. The Indians were named after the first Native American Indian to ever play Major League Baseball. When the Cleveland organization named themselves the Indians, it was in honor of a person. And instead of honoring somebody, they honored a statue in a city building. That's why they call the Guardians. So anyway, if Spaz asked me about the Guardians version of Lindor for Volpe, sign me up. Well, yeah, because he's not a Met. The Lindor version with the Mets, I'll pass. I'm not interested. I hope Volpe is is a lot more clutch. If he's not, then Volpe is not what I thought he would be, because Lindor is not clutch. Son of a bitch. And from the Bellevue version of the morning show, I mean from the Norman and Greg show at WFAN. I guess Norman's on vacation again. You know, he's on vacation again. Guy's always on vacation, that guy. He's got like 40 jobs in the NFL. Still not getting the Hall of Fame, boom. Sorry. Still not winning the Super Bowl. Sorry. Joe Namath took your Super Bowl from you. High-fiving on the sideline. From Odyssey.com. Gio and Jerry can't believe Mets still don't have JD Martinez. Just get up here. Oh my God. Okay, this is what I mean by when the Mets don't do any. Mets. What did I say? The Mets. Whatever the Mets do is wrong, and when they do it right, it's still wrong. This is an example of that. The Mets had a very good weekend in Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a good young ball club, and the Mets pitching overall since the beginning of the season has been actually quite good, except for a couple of games here or there. The Met pitching, in particular, the starting pitching, has been excellent. But they had to find something to bitch about, because this is what they do at WFAN. They're so desperate for people to watch them. And you can say, well, you're just doing this. I believe in this. I am a true believer. I'm a true believer of this stuff. You know, they're full of shit. Now, Greg Giannotti, is a supposed Met fan, but you wouldn't know it. He never talks about, I can't wait to go to the ballpark today. I'm going to opening day. Nothing. You never see him wearing a Mets jersey. Never. Never see him wearing a Mets hat. Never. Never wears his phantom on his body. Ever. Does nothing but bitch and complain. Complained a couple of weeks ago about the weather being bad, that he would go to more games if the Mets had a roof. Well, it's easy for them to say. He doesn't live in New York City. And spend money. That's how much money is to put a roof in. What did Steve Cohen say? $800 million? That's just to put the roof on there. That has nothing to do with the management and the maintaining of it in the next 20, 30 years. Gio don't care. He don't pay for any. Does the morning show ever pay for tickets? Not that I know of. And then they complain about JD Martinez not being ready. He did not have a spring training. JD Martinez is still not with the Mets, as manager calls Mendoza no general sortis as a reason for the veteran's ramp-up taking longer than the team would have liked since signing him just before opening day. Greg and Jerry, this is Jerry Recca, who's trying to come up with a good nickname for Jerry. I guess Jerry the face for radio. Jerry can't believe it's taken this long to get New York its much-needed DH bat to bolster the lineup. Quote, you get someone like Francisco Lindor, who's had an entire spring, who gets up here and can't hit, Greg said. So what else do you do? Just get up here. Okay, this is so stupid. Does this make any sense? No. You've been doing this forever. You're like 50 years old now. JD Martinez. Just go out there and do it. JD Martinez is 36 years old. I think, Greg, are you older than him? I think you're older than him. Greg noted the soreness that was reported. Boomer was there. Look at that. Norman noted the soreness that was reported by Mendoza, but that didn't tame Jerry's desire to see Martinez up with the big league club as soon as possible. Quote, already, the face for radio said, from swinging a bat, something you've been doing your whole life. I mean, whenever the Mets do it, whatever the Mets do is wrong, and when the Mets do something right, it's always wrong. This is a guy that's had issues with his back. Last year he missed 50 games because of a groin injury, and now he's starting to break down. You have to sort of manage him, okay? These assholes don't know what the hell they're talking about. There's no brain damage. I don't know what it is. But they're Met fans. Ray Gianni's a Met fan. You wouldn't know it. Maybe someday he'll decide he's going to wear a Mets hat during his program or a Mets jersey. Grady had Dwight Gooden on the other day. That's because Doc is promoting stuff and he's going to get his number retired this weekend. But this is the insanity you get at WFAN. Subscribe.